Being a former teacher, I knew right away that that's where I wanted to be. I also had seen all of the children on the streets. If you are a child in Kyamunde, from the time that you are able to walk or to be carried around by another child, you're put outside because the shacks are so very small that there's absolutely no place to play in an area where that's really not much bigger than a mattress. And because of that, children really do not get to interact with adults because they're so busy providing them with food and clothing that they don't have time to love the children physically the way we love our children here in the United States. So I really wanted to do something to be with the children. And for a group of children who may not live into their adulthood, I wanted them to have an opportunity to make Jesus their forever friend. And so I knew that this was one place where I could help. So we went to the hall, and the children came. And the children were approximately 3 to 7 years old. And you would have thought that perhaps, according to our standards and to our children, that maybe they were 1 or 2. They were tremendously malnourished. They were very small for their age. They did not have any of the skills that our preschoolers had. So not only did we feel this strong urge to tell them about Jesus, but we also wanted to give them an edge up in life and give them all the skills that they need in order to go to school.
There's this little boy who I noticed he couldn't open his juice box, so I leaned over to try to open his juice box, and he grabbed it and just swallowed the thing in one gulp, and I lost it. It just hit me that he probably hadn't eaten that. You know, I mean, who knows when he would get his next meal? And then I looked down at his feet, and his shoes didn't match.
One of the men on our trip came, and he obviously played a lot of basketball coming from America, and he didn't know what God had in store for him. We had the VBS, or the Vacation Bible School, and there were tons of little kids, and all week long this man played basketball with those kids. When we left, I said to him, Mike, I said, those kids have never had a father that has played with them the way that you have. You have given them a glimpse of what fatherhood should be and an example to follow.
One day when we had craft time after VBS, we had this little boy who was falling asleep at the table, and I saw him and I ran over and I caught him before he literally fell on the ground. And I walked over and I picked him up, and we took him over to the couch. And I just sat there and I watched all the other kids play around and run, and we were doing the limbo, and I just took this opportunity to pray over this little kid. He was just so beautiful and so precious, and I asked God, you know, take care of him, God, and let him grow up to make better decisions than the environment he's in. And then I kind of got really angry, and I thought, you know, God, why him and why not me? I mean, why did I get lucky and this poor little child doesn't have the opportunities that we have? And then I really started bargaining with God, and I was so angry. And I truly didn't hold back, and I don't know what is in store for this little child. I don't know that I left there in a better frame of mind. But later on, as I was kind of spending alone time with God, and I said, God, you know, who's going to be there to protect him? What are we doing here? And God said that I sent you to protect him. And then I got it, and we're only there for a short time, but it's God's time that we can spend with these children, and that's what these children need.
One of the things that we do during that process is feed them. Most of them don't get a whole lot to eat, and this was one of those rare opportunities to share some nourishment with these children. And we had passed out cookies, and they were so excited. And there was this little guy about 3 years old wandering around, and he was treasuring his cookie. And he was looking at it, he wasn't eating it, he was just so happy to have it. And he took a bite. And I reached out to shake his hand or give him a high five, and he looked at his cookie, and he looked back at me, and he broke off a piece of his cookie and gave it to me. And I thought, children who are so innocent deserve more than they're getting.